In previous lessons, we have discussed two of the three key features of object-oriented programming, namely abstraction and inheritance. Let's talk about the third one, which is polymorphism. This is a term made from the two Greek root words poly, which means many, and morph, which means form, and literally means many forms. There are three situations in which polymorphism can be present in the class definition of an object: overloaded methods, overridden methods, and polymorphic objects. The term overloading, commonly associated with a bad feeling of being overburdened, is a good thing as it relates to class definitions of objects. The idea refers to how an object can own certain processes that are identical in function, but accomplish this function in different ways. For example, when you lock your car door, there may be three different ways to do this. Manually push down on the lock, push the lock button located on the inside of the door, or use the lock button on the remote. All do the same thing, but in different ways. This type of polymorphism is called overloading. Another type of polymorphism happens when an object inherits a process and then redefines how that process works in a more special way. For example, if a student object is defined with a method called calcGrade, which calculates a grade for the student, and then a grad student object inherits the student object, it can redefine this method in a more specific way to meet the more complex grade calculation needs of a graduate student. In this case, the grad student object overrides this process, using the same method name, but with more complex computations as to how the process is achieved. A third example of polymorphism refers to when a parent class object can reference any of its child objects, such as this object, pointing to three children, and then the children in turn pointing to their children, and so on. Furthermore, the object can also reference its grandchildren, as can any of the objects with multi-level inheritance, including pointing to great-grandchildren. In summary, polymorphism can exist in class definitions of objects in three different ways: by overloading methods that perform the same task in different ways, by overriding or redefining methods inherited from parent classes, or through polymorphic referencing, where objects are able to point to any descendant object at any level of inheritance.